So I was looking back at some of my past videos, and I've tended to tackle stuff that I'm pretty positive on. Besides the first video on this channel that I did on The Last of Us Part 2, I've largely avoided doing videos that are controversial because 1, it's easier to motivate myself to talk about things I'm passionate about, and 2, I don't want to get caught up in a lot of the stress associated with some of these topics. However, I figured it was time to experiment a little on the channel by tackling a different range of topics, even if they're controversial by nature, and it so happens that a particular show this season is getting quite a bit of attention. So much so that it's kinda getting sus. Okay, I'm sorry, I just wholly deserve all the comments to call me a scrub for that horrible joke. Don't Toy With Me Nagatoro-san, or Ijiranaide Nagatoro-san, is narrowly the most popular new show of the season ahead of To Your Eternity, but it is by far the one that's gained the most attention, for the better and even more so for the worse. The show is gaining a similar type of attention that Uzaki-chan did when that show aired, and that isn't too surprising. Both of these shows fall into the archetype of smug anime girl, teasing lonely anime boy, which has gained a lot more steam over the past couple of years. But in all honesty, it might be fair to compare Nagatoro-san to teasing master Takagi-san, a slice of life that has the teasing master herself poking fun at a classmate she has a crunch on. Needless to say, Nagatoro-san centers around Hachioji, an introverted high schooler that catches the eye of his underclassman Nagatoro after he drops some of his drawings in the school library. Nagatoro quickly begins to tease and torment him whenever she gets a chance. And if anyone disputes that she's tormenting him, Crunchyroll says as such in their synopsis, and it also says that if I watch this show, I'm going to feel something awaken inside of me, and I for one want to see what it is. So I swear, Crunchyroll, you better not be toying with me. One of the strangest things about Nagatoro-san was the pre-release spotlight that it got simply because of its source material. I kid you not, there were articles and videos going around about how Twitter was already trying to cancel this show before it came out. And not to hate on Twitter, but I haven't forgotten the time they came after Kenma and I became slightly triggered, but I honestly haven't paid a lot of these videos much mind because I tried to evaluate media without having too many opinions flooding the brain. But it probably doesn't take much to figure out what might be the cause, since there is a lot to target, some of it not exactly justified. Now, admittedly, I thought about passing on the show because I wasn't a big fan of the synopsis, and it didn't seem like a show that was up my alley, but I'm a morbidly curious person, so I did. And based on the 3 episodes I did watch, it's meh? I guess meh. But teasing from Nagatoro seems to be at its worst in the first episode, and it starts to fall downhill from there rather than escalate, which went against my expectations. And it's also a fairly well-produced show with enough lively animation and impressive consistency from frame to frame that emulates the coloring and character design and background work to a T. I can't say I care much about Hachioji nor Nagatoro that much. In fact, I had to Google the former's name multiple times just to remember it. He's that unremarkable. I don't like the show as much when it's a one-sided affair of tormenting like episode 1, but I do like the show a little bit more when it tones down the teasing and introduces more context for their relationship. Like in episode 3 when they play the Guilty Gear ripoff at Nagatoro's house, it better reflects the type of quipping that 2 friends jokingly mocking each other would engage in, plus it actually ends up on a pretty good note when all is said. And oh god, did he just call him a scrub? Oh my god, that's not a word that anyone uses. Call the word police. We need to take down this show, and we need to destroy the evil mega corporations that impart their cringe-infested translations onto my anime. I just want to apologize. I might have taken things a little bit too far. It's not that big of a deal. After all, there's no one out there who would actually get angry over the translation of a couple of words that make sense in the context of the wait. Oh no. Oh no. Just when I thought the spotlight was turning away from Nagatoro onto some other anime this season, this guy just had to drop one of the worst Twitter threads ever posted on the platform. I'm not going to put any pictures of anything more than the first few tweets because there is some legitimately racist and transphobic content that is extremely pervasive later down the thread, but this single person managed to get Nagatoro trending on Twitter again because he thought the use of the words sus, scrub, and derp were such terrible translations that were so unfaithful to the manga. Like, I know this show is ripe to inflame some wars in the anime community, but I cannot believe Nagatoro got caught up in the crossfires of a rant about translation. And it was even more sad because I saw the original panel that this person got really angry about, and as a native English speaker, the phrase totally suspiciously is an awkward way to word that sentiment, and a more correct way to say it would be something like totally suspicious or totally sus, and I'm willing to bet money that most cultured people use sus way more often. And there is certainly a more nuanced discussion to have about how some of the localization choices alter the original meaning of the text, and even I was taken aback by the use of the word derp. But I'm pretty sure there isn't so much of a problem that it's worth making a fool of yourself on Twitter. Which brings me to the main point of this video. Why am I even making it? There are so many cool anime airing this season that are getting criminally overlooked that I'd love to discuss, yet here I am talking about a popular show that I don't find to be very remarkable. The answer's simple. I'm just so confounded. This season is stacking up to be one of the greatest. Another season of My Hero Academia, a phenomenal drama from the creator of A Silent Voice, an original show from Wit, a Nisio Isin brainchild from Shaft, a remake of Shaman King, sequels to Fruits Basket, Megalobox, and Zombieland Saga, and so many others that I'm just skipping over, and yet, this is the show that's getting way more spotlight than the rest of its competition. For the record, I'm not talking about the quality of the show, even though I'm not that hot on it, since there are plenty of people who are finding enjoyment from it. I'm more so referring to the fact that I spent more time discussing the controversy around Nagatoro rather than the actual show. And in retrospect, that made me feel a little sad, because I spent a lot of time and energy just thinking about this show that I felt the need to make a video for some closure. Irrespective of my thoughts of the show itself, I personally feel there needs to be way more discretion about what aspects of an anime are getting attention. And I'm saying that knowing full well that Nagatoro was a show with an established fanbase and a decent amount of anticipation. I think I'm just tired of seeing Nagatoro videos that aren't about Nagatoro itself littering my YouTube homepage, even though I have literally never searched for it. By making this video, I think I finally found some inner peace to move on from the drama around Nagatoro and continue enjoying this season of anime as it was fully intended, and if it gets any better, Nagatoro itself. Thank you for sticking to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like this video and subscribe to Sakamui for more anime and gaming content, and feel free to leave comments below on what you're thinking about Nagatoro this season. In the meantime, I'm not actually going to end this video on a joke, and I'm actually going to provide a real recommendation. Go watch Vivi Fluoride's Song from Wit Studio. It's a phenomenal anime, and it needs way more spotlight than it's currently getting. Also, SSSS.Tanasenon is really good. Please check it out. If you like Gridman, you're obviously going to like this. Thanks again, and I'll see you all in the next video.